The big lie sold to women in modern dating. Now, here on the Shaun Jones YouTube channel, we don't just react to fitness content. We don't just create fitness content. We're all about leveling yourself up as a man. So why am I reacting to content about women? Because the more we understand women, the better as a man you can navigate society and do better for yourself and not waste all your resources, your time, attention, and valuable energy on anyone who doesn't bring value to your life. Plus also this YouTube channel, FBE Capital, produce some banger videos. I just think some of them are quite entertaining. And I don't just want to be one-dimensional, only reacting to fitness content. On this channel, we react to content that I like. This is my channel. I make the rules. Once I've got a big enough audience and enough subscribers, I'll start streaming this stuff. Sit back with your popcorn and let's go.
Life has been more fulfilling for me since my mid-30s than it ever was before that. So just know that your best years are ahead of you and you are never too old and it's never too late.
This is probably the loneliest I've ever felt in my life. And I'm in therapy and I'm in a codependency group.
I'm so done.
The cope is so hard. This is what social media has done to women. It makes them feel all empowered and they can put videos up on the TikTok and get loads of love from women. Hey girls, your 30s are going to be the best years ahead of you, the best years for dating. And then they realise 5 years later that they're lonely and no man wants them because they've got a bunch of baggage that's came with them and now they're making the next man pay a higher price than the previous man was paying. And now when you finally realise it's too late, but social media encourages this type of behaviour because of all the validation that you get from TikTok and Instagram.
You have so much leverage and so many options, I can't even tell you.
When the check came, he asked me for $6.
You've got so much leverage, but obviously not enough for $6. That's amazing. That's so funny. Don't get me wrong. If I'm going on a date with a girl, I'll pay, especially if I've taken it. I just couldn't bring myself to ask the girl for half the money. Now, if it was a bad date, I probably would ask her for half the money, or if she was a crank or whatever, if we just weren't hitting it off, I'd probably end the date early or just say, listen, come on, let's split the bill. But the key here is just don't get yourself into these situations. You want to go on cheap dates. Dates that you can bail out of super easily, especially if they look like a 10 out of 10 online and then show up looking like a big bloated beluga whale.
Definitely think that I will stay alone forever. My God.
Jesus Christ. Are we not opening doors anymore? Are we not doing that?
Never used a dating app in your life? Well, the good news is you're about to have so much fun.
Yeah, so much fun. You see, right off the bat, we can see why so many women are nowadays struggling in dating because they've been lied to over and over by others.
This girl, pretty girl, obviously, you know, she's got makeup, she's got a bit of work done and all that, but she's pretty. She should not be single. She should have been snatched up in her 20s by a decent fella. Now she's probably on YouTube saying, where are all the good men gone? Listen, I don't even know her, but we can see where this video is going.
Other women telling them that they are perfect goddesses that every man is dying to be with. However, the reality is that's simply not true.
This is the thing, women say that they want honesty, but they really can't handle it. Women lie to women and men lie to women. Everyone is lying to women because a lot of the time they can't take the accountability, they can't handle it. There's a lot of pandering going on right now and unfortunately it only hurts women even more so. I'm sorted, I don't have to worry about any of this, but listen lads, if you're single out there, this is what you have to understand, what the real world is like. Yet these women, as they get older, plenty of baggage comes with them. I think we all know this deep down. When I was a bartender, before even the internet barely even existed, I always knew the girls who were 30, 35 years old, stay away from, maybe a little one-night stand or something, but that is it.
Sunday night, we'll go and have a...
There's how much these women document their dating lives on TikTok. What the hell's going on? Remember when you just go on dates, you'd meet a girl, she'd be decent, she'd probably bin you off and ghost you, she wouldn't text back, and then you just got on with your life and moved on to the next date. Now you've got women who are pure vlogging the romantic lives, and you're seeing in real time the lives falling apart.
She's finding out in real time.
Buy you food.
Listen, it's because women are living in an echo chamber. They're doing all these female-only podcasts, and they've got these female-only magazines, and these female-only women support groups, and Facebook groups, and whatever, and these TV shows, and they all live in an echo chamber. They all just repeat the same message. Listen, the manosphere is exactly the same. A lot of the red pill community, they're living in an echo chamber, they're all just talking about the same thing, and no one is there to really challenge the views. There's a lot of stuff in the red pill community that I don't really agree with, although I would consider myself a red-pilled individual, but it's the same same with the women. When you have a bunch of women talking about women's issues without actually getting a man's perspective, they don't actually come to terms with reality. And that is why podcasts like Fresh and Fit, although can be seen as toxic in some sort of way because they're monetizing the drama of kicking girls out of the podcast, they're doing a good job because it's allowing men to kind of see the nature of women, but it's also holding women accountable and trying to teach women about what they're doing wrong and why it's important to try and get in a long-term relationship when you're younger as opposed to waiting until you're older.
This dude basically ordered free Uber Eats and a side chick to go. But no, the bar isn't that low. She has simply been confronted with the fact that the balance of power has shifted as women get older, and they start finding out the hard way that if you are still dating at that age as a woman, it's going to be way more difficult to keep a guy interested because women always take any form of rejection as somehow a loss for the guy and never seem to reflect inward on how they might actually be lacking.
Men who are unable to be honest, men who are unable to communicate.
You don't want honesty. You don't really, truly want communication. You want selective honesty and selective communication.
So I just looked at Bumble this morning and he's deleted his account. What is going on in this world? Absolutely his loss.
Yeah, absolutely his loss. Really? What exactly?
His loss.
Now this is exactly the type of nonsense I'm talking about that women are constantly bombarding each other with, never telling each other the actual truth, and keep telling each other that they are simply perfect as is and that no change is needed at all.
Go and ask any woman on the street. Look at all these street interviews. Ask women to rate themselves out of 10. The majority of the time, they always say, I'm a 10 out of 10 or I'm a 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10 means perfect. No one is perfect. You go and ask men to rate themselves out of 10 and they'll say 3, 4, maybe a 6 or 7. Now and then you'll get a model, like a proper good looking lad, and he'll say I'm an 8. Or you've got women who are like super fat, overweight, super ugly, can't get a man, feminist with blue hair, and they say they're a 10 out of 10. Absolute delusion.
Attract whatever you want and whoever you want just by being you.
This couldn't be a completely more opposite world than what men live in. See, imagine if men adopted this perspective that you can have anyone you want in this world just by being you. No, we have to become someone. We have to become a person of value. A man who doesn't go out there and build a business or build his career or just gets fat and lazy and out of shape and doesn't become someone of confidence and of status will just get left behind and be told he's a loser. That's what we're told as men pretty much by society and just what we experience in the world. We see the men who go out there and become someone get all the women and they get all the opportunity. So we understand that. That is our experience. Girls are just telling each other, be yourself and it'll all be okay. It's not going to work. You're going to end up 40 years old, single, lonely, with a bunch of cats running around your apartment.
Activate your inner goddess, your goddess energy.
I want a man that is going to provide for me, that's going to treat me like a princess, that's going to be loyal.
You don't have high standards. You just haven't met someone yet who is willing to put in the time and effort to meet your standards.
So I know that I am worth more and that I deserve more. And the thing is like I am incredibly giving and kind and loyal and sweet and funny, and I'm emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, but what are all the bad points? You're probably leaving a lot out right there, because if you was truly all that stuff, especially sweet, feminine, that's the main thing that men look for. Soft, feminine, nurturing, kind. Men don't want to come home from work and be dealing with a bunch of baggage. These women, especially the ones who are on TikTok, scream red flags. They've got red flags written all over them. If I find out that a girl is on TikTok and she's doing TikToks about her exes and a dating life, that is one of the biggest red flags ever. Nah, she's publicising a dating life. Screw that. I want a girl who's a bit more reserved, who's mature, who doesn't require social media for validation.
Now, this goddess mentality was working out great when they were in their early 20s, having every single guy drop to their knees to please them. However, as they get older and their list of demands gets longer, the guys that meet all of those requirements are not only having many more options to choose from, but they are starting to ask themselves, what do these older women now offer other than a smile and a long list of demands?
Tonight was the first official date with, I'm gonna call him Superman.
Well, that didn't age well. I think I'm being ghosted. Date 3, I wouldn't sleep with him. I actually asked him if he was emotionally available, to which he replied, no, I don't think I am. And well, it sort of downward spiraled from there.
Yep, she thought that she had found Superman. And to be fair, she probably did. I'm sure he was great on paper and checked all the boxes.
Shout out Mike Thurston.
Which is why she decided to go out with him in the first place. However, he selected her as just one of many options, and that's why he...
Mike Thurston, I'm coming to Dubai, and we're going to do a video. Here I am, I'm manifesting it. I'm having that goddess energy, that king energy. Manifestation. Drop a like if you want to see me and Mike Thurston do a video. It might not happen, but listen, this channel is going up there. It's going big. I'm going to do a video of Mike Thurston, and I'm going to show him all his technique problems with his lifting.
Bounced when he saw that, she wanted something serious, and he just wanted to have fun. This is something that many other women are finding out as they get older.
Because I assumed that we were exclusive, but I asked him if he was talking to anyone else or seeing anyone else, and he said, well, am I going on dates? No, but I'm talking to other women, and I was like shocked. Absolutely shocked, and probably really brokenhearted, because I probably could have, things could have gone great.
Because men think that you're doing the same. The majority of women, especially average women, have more DMs than the top 1% of men. You can be an average woman in this day and age, or a below average woman, and still have more DMs than an absolute chat. So he just thinks that you're doing the same. Back in my dating days, it wasn't like this. There was no apps, there was no Instagram. There was the early days of Facebook, and so it wasn't really used in that sort of way. So girls didn't feel like they had all the options at their fingertips like they do today. So he just thinks that you're doing the same, that's why.
Now this one is actually hilarious because she couldn't possibly fathom the idea that the guy would be talking to other women. Now in reality, guys are usually doing a little bit more than talking, but she really bought into the goddess mentality that she would be the center of his universe and that dating as a woman in your 30s and 40s would be so much fun.
So much fun.
Yep, so much fun. Now don't get me wrong here, as women get older, they can still easily get many dates. That's not really the problem. What is the problem is that these guys that they actually want to date are going to put in less and less effort and are more likely to only be interested in a casual hookup.
In the text, he told me that he was still with his current GF, despite the fact that when he'd broken up with me, he told me he never wanted to be in a long-term relationship again. And then he shared that she has been with women before and has a threesome fantasy, and naturally he thought of me, and he wanted to know if I was single and possibly interested.
See, this guy had no problem sleeping with her, but he straight up told her, I don't want a girlfriend. After which he goes off and finds an actual girlfriend, who I'm assuming is younger than she is, and the fact that he even texted her about a threesome after he broke up with her clearly shows that he did not take her seriously at all. And this is a sad reality for most women who are dating as they get older or are dating after a divorce. However, the lies and terrible advice don't just stop there, because in addition to creating this false fantasy land of dating in your 40s, women are now also telling other women to definitely don't do things that men actually appreciate or look for in a woman, or you'll become a pick-me girl, which is simply breaking them down even more.
Yeah, so women shame other women for doing what men want. There was a stay-at-home girlfriend trend going around TikTok a while back where girlfriends, so not wives, so young girlfriends who were like early 20s, basically doing the stay-at-home wife job while their boyfriend is going out doing all the work. These girls got so much hate from other women, saying the man's controlling, saying, hey girl, are you okay? Blink twice if you need help. And a lot of these women will shame other women for doing these sort of things because of jealousy, because they can't get a man who will look after them and keep them in a long-term relationship. For a woman, getting a man into bed is completely different than keeping them in a relationship long-term. So there's a complete difference. Women don't realize this. They just think whatever man I can get in bed, that's the type of man, that's the type of standard that I can have as a relationship. If they get with a 10 out of 10 Shad, they don't understand that that 10 out of 10 Shad just wanted them for sex. They'll now associate that standard with what they deserve. No one deserves anything in a relationship.
I am not dating because I just found out, thanks to TikTok, that I am a pick-me girl in recovery. All this time, I thought that I was so loving and so giving and such a great partner. And I am, if you're looking for somebody who completely denies their own needs and wants and is like a Stepford wife.
Yeah, definitely don't be nice and loyal to your boyfriend or husband, right? I mean, that would be an insane request.
So if you were nice and loyal and doing all the right things, obviously we don't know, but let's say you were doing all the right things and it didn't work out for you, do you now think no longer being nice, loyal, kind, caring, doing the cooking, the cleaning, all the stuff that a woman should be doing in a relationship, do you think that's going to increase your chances of locking down a good man in a long-term relationship and eventually getting married? Or is it going to decrease it? Of course it's going to decrease it, because now you're not even doing the bare minimum. So as a woman, what are you even bringing to the table? A lot of women don't like that question because they can't answer it. Often they'll say, I am the table.
So this is the vicious circle I'm talking about, of broken single women giving terrible advice to others who then become broken as well, and will join them into giving more terrible advice to more women and sell more lies about the joys of dating as they get older.
Dating is actually super fun after divorce.
Yeah.
I texted him saying that I was done. I didn't hear from him. I texted him again saying, hey, are we gonna hang out? And nothing. And it was, I would say painful, but that wasn't the right word. I was living in a sea of pain.
Why do girls always film themselves crying? I probably see it maybe once a week on social media. Some girl is crying on camera. Sometimes not even saying anything, just actually filming themselves crying. That's it, just like 30 seconds of that on her Instagram story. What the hell?
Remember the Uber Eats girl who got ordered like takeout, being depressed about how low the bar was set?
Is the bar that low? Men, do better.
Well, this is what she actually gives out as advice to other women.
So number one, I think it's really important to have an older gentleman on your roster.
Okay, listen to what she actually says. Have an older man on your roster. This is the same woman who sat in her car crying that guys do not put in enough effort anymore. Geez, I wonder why.
Have an older gentleman on your roster.
Clearly, that dude was correct in putting in minimal effort, since she was trying to date multiple men at the same time anyways. It's this type of delusion and having your cake and eating it too mentality that propels the lies that women sell to each other, after which they are confronted with the reality and run into a big fat wall. But wait, it gets much worse.
The wall beats them all.
Remember the dating after divorce super coach who was promising all of that leverage that you will have as a newly divorced single woman?
When it comes to dating after divorce, I just want to tell you, you have so much leverage and so many options, I can't even tell you.
Well, let's take a look how that actually plays out in reality.
Welcome to another edition of Disaster Dates by the Divorcee. The most gorgeous man I'd ever laid my eyes on came up and talked to me, and we had this whirlwind romance that was across the country until the point where he said that he never meant anything that he said to me and everything was a complete lie, and he says that to all the girls.
So what happened to all of that left?
That's pure harsh. That's harsh. But listen, right, if you're defining a man as the most gorgeous man you've ever laid your eyes on, the chances are he's too good for you. Especially, I don't mean this in a bad way, but especially when you look like that. Nothing wrong with it. But if he is the most gorgeous man you've ever laid eyes on, he's got more options. As we get older, we have more options. We got more money, more status, more resource, more experience, more trauma, which builds us back up. Trauma's good for a man, it builds men, whereas trauma typically usually isn't good for a woman. He's not going to pick you as a relationship. He's just trying to get in there. He's trying to smash and dash.
So what happened to all of that leverage? Well, I know, it never existed. Now some women see these clips and think, what a mean guy for doing that to her. But these are the same women who complain that men ghost them, and this dude was way more honest than he needed to be. He could have simply just faded away and ghosted her, or said, hey, it's not working out, bye. But no, he simply showed her the reality of dating as an older single woman. Which brings us to that very important and also...
I did say women don't like honesty. And then when they get it, the brutal honesty, which men can handle, we can handle the honesty. We handle rejection throughout our entire life. So it's a part of a man's life. But when women have that brutal honesty, it hurts them, man. It hurts them.
So controversial no-no word, or better yet, concept, which is simply that men prefer younger women, while women prefer older men. This is why women have it so easy when they are young and can literally pick any guy they want. However, if they spend that time playing games thinking that the party will last well into their 30s and 40s, they will eventually get to a point where the balance of power shifts and men of their own age that they want to date are now dating younger women, and they will only date older women for some short-term bedroom fun.
Yeah, do you think Mike Thurston is going to go after the 35, 40, 45-year-old? Of course not. He's going to be dating girls who are like 19, 22, 24, 25. Why? Because that's what men find attractive. Another thing, men are shamed for typically dating younger girls, but women aren't shamed for dating older men. But it's the same thing. You can't shame men and not shame women when it's the exact same concept.
And the pattern is when he doesn't need me anymore and he has somebody else that he can cling on to that can provide him some sort of like validation through love, then he says terrible things to me to get me to go away. And I'm just really disappointed in myself because I knew better.
Imagine this being your mum. If that was my mum on TikTok sharing stuff like this, I'd be so embarrassed. How gutted would you be if your mum was sharing all of the dating stuff on TikTok? Now, I'm sure this girl probably this woman hasn't got any kids, so she's lucky there. But imagine if she did eventually have kids, which is probably not going to happen because she's too old now. There's so many women out there who are putting stuff online, not even to mention OnlyFans. That's why I talk about OnlyFans all the time. It's just sad.
You know, but I'm also grateful for the experience because now I really know better.
She still doesn't know better. You see, this is just another one of those nonsense lies where they are somehow always grateful for getting into a disastrous situation, after which they start living their quote-unquote best lives. Like, I'm so glad I got hit by the car in the face because now I know better. No, what would actually be better is for someone to tell you the truth about dating as you get older as a woman, which is that it will become much more difficult than you were used to, and that if you don't stay in shape, eat healthy, and offer kindness and loyalty as actual valuable traits, instead of a long list of demands like some sort of dating terrorist, then no guy is ever going to be interested in you long term, and you will only get played like a little girl.
That's it, guys. Go and subscribe to FBE Capital. They put out absolute fantastic videos. The dating scene is messed up. I love watching content like this. It makes me think, if I ever have a daughter, like, I'm going to make sure that she understands that finding a good man is imperative. She's going to look for traits in a man that match me as a father. And it's the same with boys and the mothers. Boys typically look for traits in women that the mothers also have. So if I do have a daughter, like, one of the worst things you can do is get them to go down this whole strong, independent route. Of course, she can have a good job or a good career or whatever, but that's not the be-all and end-all. Women typically get their fulfillment and joy in life from having a family and raising a family. The last thing you want to be doing is telling your daughter that she don't need no man and she's a boss babe. It'll just send them down a bad path and she'll end up on TikTok doing videos like this about the dating life. That's it, boys. I love reacting to content like this. I watched so much of this type of content, loads of the red pill content, dating content, feminism stuff, anything that just basically exposes reality for what it is and makes us more self-aware and allows us to navigate the world in a better manner. I just enjoy watching. So if you like this type of content, drop me a like down below and make sure to tune back in tomorrow because we upload 7 days a week, as I say every day. Right, I'll see you tomorrow.